What's up, guys? Laz over here, or Sideways Laz if you know me from Instagram. Believe it or not, this is what I look like if you haven't seen me ever before, or if you haven't been paying attention to my posts from Instagram and all the selfies that I've posted, which I don't post many. Just figured I'd film a little video and tell you a little bit more about the car. I have a bunch of questions all the time, and honestly they're quite a bit of questions, and I wish I could just copy and paste and send you the same response to everybody, but unfortunately I can't do that. So I figured I'd just make a video and show you step by step everything that's been done to the car and everything that I'm planning on doing. So last night it got a little dark. My buddy came over to test fit some wheels. Look who just showed up. What's up, man?
Oh, me? I'm here. What's up, dude?
Up?
About to get very American.
And I couldn't finish the whole thing, so I'm hopefully getting through all of it today, at least the interior parts and anything I can use from last night. So don't mind me, you'll see that I actually had to use a flashlight when I was under the car. So I'm inside the car right now, and as you can see, there's a few boxes. I have been working on it a little bit. These are actually parts that are going to be going into the car hopefully in the next couple weeks. That back there's actually a tube front end that I'm going to talk to you about later on. This is the UMI tubular K-member. This was a B4C car. So it used to be a highway patrol car, and it came with a hardtop, which it's kind of nice. I prefer this over most of all the other T-top cars, just because I feel like this is a lot better for what I'm going to be doing in this car. Originally it was a T56 car. This is a built T56 from ProMotion. I believe it's a level 3. Being a B4C car, it came with the awesome roll-up antique windows. No power options, so manual locks. Definitely had no traction control. Over here we got a NRG quick release. This is actually one of my favorite things. Don't mind the color. Originally I ordered black, and they sent me the wrong part. They sent it to me in the blue, and I just didn't care enough to send it back and wait longer. I just wanted the thing on and be done with it. But this thing actually spaces the steering wheel forward a little bit to where I can actually sit further back, and me having long legs, 5'9" by the way, so I'm not short, but I'm not too tall, so I can actually move the seat back and see over the hood decently well. I don't know if you guys can see with the shade. Normally I'd have the Momo steering wheel. It's a competition Momo 250 millimeter. I love the thing, honestly. Another one of my favorite mods. Makes the car feel like it should. It's not too big, it's not too bulky. It's honestly the most perfect steering wheel I've ever tried. Got to keep the old F-body intact, even though it's pretty destroyed down there. This ugly thing is actually the two-step. If you notice in most of my videos, and Kenny's videos, the car off the rev limiter actually makes a pretty cool sound everybody loves. It's just bouncing off, making that brrrr everybody enjoys so much. This is what we did. We just put a MSD with a toggle, and we set up the limiter up at like 50, 58, 100 RPMs for mine. I believe Kenny's is a little higher, since his actually revs a little higher. So it's just a simple two-step, nothing crazy. We just set up the RPMs higher. Definitely shoots tons of flames if I set it down to like 2,000 RPMs. It'll shoot like 5-foot flames out the Y pipe. So this is something I've had here for a long time because I wanted to see how it fit. So I went with the Siki. I've seen a bunch of people running Siki handbrakes, and I don't have the dual caliper brackets. I haven't made them. It's in the place of the airbag module on an F-body, if you're familiar with them. This is where it normally would mount. So this is no longer a car I'm going to be driving on the streets, so the airbags are completely out. I actually made my own bracket, so don't mind that it's all ugly looking and all that. It's just it was just there for me to test fit it and feel what it's like, to see if I'm happy with the mounting location and all that. Made this myself with a help of a buddy. Very simple. It's just like a 90-degree bracket, 1/4 inch steel. I felt like I needed something thick so it wouldn't bend if I had to put the extra strength on the handbrake. So that's not going to go anywhere. Made it to mount this at an angle, so when I'm driving it actually doesn't get in the way of the shifting, and when I pull back the lever it actually seats the arm on the seat on the side pads quite comfortably. That brings me to the Sparko seat. I do have the two. They're both matching. This is the R100. I bought them from my buddy Kenny. They fit me perfectly. I needed them because the stocks were not keeping me in the seat when I was transitioning at Auburndale, and I was all over the place. I was holding on to the shifter. I couldn't keep myself in the seat. I got the seats super comfortable, perfect if you daily drive a car that you want to slide. They're adjustable. They have the levers down here on each side. I bought them from my buddy Kenny. He's a tall guy, so he can barely fit in the Trans Am. So he bought a different seat that was perfect for his height, and I got these from him. So if you drift an F-body, I would definitely do that, especially because these things do work. Their carpet is coming out. I decided to go full race car, so I'm definitely doing a full FD cage. I haven't decided who's going to do the cage yet, but I have a couple fab shops that I have in mind, and I want this done correctly the first time, so we'll see. Radiator is going in the back. It's not going anytime soon. I have the motor that I'm building for it, and I want to get it running. I want to get everything sorted out. I want to get all the issues figured out, if there are any, which there shouldn't be. It's a fully built motor. It's a 6.0 Q4. Motor should be completely solid. It's going to have a high ram, so it's hopefully going to be a over 500 wheel. So I do have V-brakes and Z06 rotors. Don't mind how rusty these are. It's been sitting for about a year, so I'm obviously gonna either clean those up or I'm gonna be getting some newer ones. They're the 4-piston V-brakes. Easy to install. They bolt right up. All it is just a couple washers to space them out to where it can actually center the caliper on the rotor. Huge difference. In stopping, you can barely tap the brake and they stop immediately. So while it's down for the motor at NBA Motorsports, they're going to be doing most of the work. We're going to take out the AC and anything that gets in the way that we don't need. We're going to clean it up as much as possible. Obviously this is going to get painted. I'm thinking flat black, nothing too crazy. Radiator's actually going to be, before I move it to the back, we're just going to push it forward, get it out of the way, and leave it just to run it for the time being. So all the AC stuff is going to be completely gone. This motor is completely done, so it's junk. It's a boat anchor. The Rock Solid Motorsports tube front end, it's gonna go from here on, so all this is gonna be tube. As far as exhaust, I've been doing the pace setter, the cheapest pace setter long tube headers to an off-road white pipe, nothing after that. That might change here pretty soon after we get the car running. I was thinking on doing an 8-into-1 exhaust. Not a lot of people have done it. I don't know who's going to be doing it yet. I have talked to a couple fab shops, but that's one main reason why I'm doing the rear radiator, so we can get the front cleared out, especially with the tube front end. We're just gonna make some room, push the headers all the way forward. Things gonna sound rowdy, and hopefully we can make an exit out to either a fender or a bumper. The battery normally, which would go right here, it's actually gonna probably stay right here for now. I was gonna relocate it to the back, get some more weight in the back, but after a couple things that I looked into, which I'll be revealing in a future video, we won't have the need to relocate the battery for any weight distribution or anything. So for now, it's just going to stay here even after the tube front end. If we have to relocate it, we will, but if we don't have to, it's going to stay there for now. All of this is UMI stuff and a Moser 12 bolt, which we're going to be adding dual caliber brackets that are going to be welded on the tubes. Got a UMI torque arm. That's the exhaust. That's where it stops right there. Stock rear sway bar. Believe it or not, the stock rear sway bar actually lets the diff move around a little better for grip. It's not a huge difference, but it helps, and it actually picks up a shit ton of speed around bends when you're bouncing off the rev limiter. The wheels also, these are just my drift spare, don't mind those. These are not gonna stay on it. I'm gonna go back to the STRs that originally were on it. I love those wheels. So these are the ones that are gonna get trashed when you guys see me at events, or if I hit up any other street spots. So the most asked question, yes, I do have control arms. They are UMI control arms, tubular. They are steel. The difference in bushings here, this is a hard plastic bushing. The one they come with, they're not very good. They're soft, and well, drifting obviously puts a little bit of stress on those bushings, so they get destroyed. The knuckles are modded. They are shortened knuckles. Had Upfab here in Cape Coral do them for me. They are cast, so not a lot of people can properly weld them like they should. So I wouldn't have just anybody do them for you if you do decide to do it. I've been on this car for well over 10,000 miles and tons of drift abuse, and they still look perfect. No showing any fatigues or anything on the knuckle, so that's a good sign. The coilovers are QA1s. I believe this dual knobs, 16-way adjustment. Perfect ride quality. The springs are they're like slightly stiffer above stock, so like 20 pounds over whatever stock is. Upper control arms. They are also UMI. Adjustable. They're ran all the way in for more camber. Also add about 2 degrees of caster, so it should be at like +7, close to +8 caster right now. Also, when you get these, if you don't have coilovers, the spindle over here actually hits the spring, which I would go coilovers to begin with because they're obviously a lot better than the springs, but the springs are they take up a lot more room, and when you turn, that spindle hits the spring. I've seen people grind them down, I guess, and get away with it, but that weakens it and it's cast, so I would just get coilovers, spend the money. Alright, so for those that want some angle for free, since these cars only come with about 30 something degrees of angle at full lock, this boot right here. You can take this off, slide it, and then you can turn the wheel on the side that you're working on to where it exposes the inner tie rod, and there's a little plastic cover. It's you can slip that off, and you can cut it with shears or whatever you have and just take it off. You don't have to take the tie rod off of anything, so you don't have to mess with your alignment, and then just put this back on and it's done. It's 3 millimeters of travel that you get just from that. I know 3 millimeters seems like nothing, but at full lock it's a big difference whether you're modded knuckles or stock. I'll post a picture just to make sure that you guys know what I'm talking about. Just make sure you do them on both sides. There's one on each, and it'll allow the rack to travel 3 millimeters to each side once that's taken off, and it's a stupid amount of angle once you do that, plus the knuckles themselves. Well, that should cover everything, guys. I hope you liked the video. Give me a like, share, and stay tuned for more good stuff to come.